Welcome, what is up? Thank you for tuning back to the Chaos Slayer. And yes, you are reading that headline correctly. You did read the tweet correctly. Tumblr, wherever you got this from. This is the 411 TNA Lockdown 2013. I went back on my word. And for the first time in a year and a half, I sat down and I actually watched a TNA pay-per-view. Now, for those of you that don't know, the last TNA pay-per-view I watched was Bound for Glory 2011. And I ripped TNA because I didn't like the pay-per-view. And then I ripped TNA for putting the world title at the time, just to give you a little backstory, on James Storm when they had pushed Bobby Roode so hard. And then on the next Impact tapings, they gave the title, they took it off of Angle and gave it to James Storm. I didn't like that. And since then, that has made me quit watching, and I didn't care nothing about it. And whatever happened, and so forth. And, you know, I kept up a little bit with just a couple of things that was going on, so I would stay a little informed. Then I stopped and didn't care. So, I sit down to watch the pay-per-view tonight, not knowing a thing. I didn't know shit, except for the fact that they were in Texas, that it was locked down, and that there was a Knockouts title match between Gail Kim and the champion, Velvet Sky. The only reason I knew that was because Velvet tweeted it out, and I saw it, and I thought, well, I would at least want to watch it for that. So shout out Velvet. You're the reason I watched the pay-per-view. Now, on to what I thought of the show. And I'll just go match by match. X-Title, Kenny King, Zema Ion, and Christian York, who I had no fucking clue was back, even in wrestling. I knew he left wrestling in like 06. I had no clue he was even back. So that shows you how much I've really kept up. It was an okay match, but, and I've always said triple threats are tricky to do, and if you've been in a triple threat match as an actual wrestler, you know, hence I have several. I know how tricky they are to do. The timing was off on a couple of spots, and Kenny King, oh my god, still amazing. I thought he broke his neck when he tried that moonsault off of standing on Zema Ion's back, and he hit his head and his neck on the top of the guardrail. Surprised he even got up from that. He got up, finished the match, and did a bunch of big spots. So big ups Kenny King, because that was absolutely amazing. Kenny King, your winner, still X Division champion. Now they did a promo with Joseph Park. And immediately, because I don't know anything, I'm thinking, what the fuck have they done with Abyss? And then I did a little research just so I would educate myself, and found out that it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I read this on a certain site wrong, that it's Abyss's storyline brother, Joseph Park. Everybody knows Chris Parks is Abyss's real name. So again, I'm watching this as I don't know shit, so it's whatever. And then he had a match with Joey Ryan, which I've never liked Joey Ryan for anything I've ever seen on him. I've never liked, but that's just me. He does have a good gimmick, and he did draw heat, so I mean he's doing correct. But as a fan, I just don't really care. They did that previous promo. Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, didn't even know they were a tag team, and they've been tag team champions 2 times, and we're going for the 3rd. Whatever. Joseph Park beats Joey Ryan. Whatever. Knockouts title, very good match. Velvet Sky has been improving, and I've said this, and I was saying this before I stopped watching TNA, that Velvet is getting so much better as an actual in-ring wrestler compared to where she was like 2008, 2009, 2010. She just started getting better. And I guess when she left, I mean, she just worked at it, honed her skills, and she's back, of course, now. And I mean, she had a really good match with Gail Kim. And Taryn Tyrell, her and Gail Kim, I guess they've got a thing going on. You know what? Only thing I got to say about that is, Taryn, you need to buy a better wig or a better weave or have your hair better done if you're gonna get physical. That's all I got to say. Because hair was flying everywhere. Now, it was great and I enjoyed it, but still, you got to look out better than that. Now, Robbie E versus, I will not call him this. His name is Rob Terry. I will never, because the gimmick was stupid, showing the history of their feud. Now that was just stupid. Anyway, Rob Terry wins, of course, and he actually looked a little bit better in the ring than the last time I saw him. Everything's getting better. The presentation even was looking a lot better. Tag titles. Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. By the way, before I get in this, who the hell lets a champion's, not even a champion, one of your main focused guys of an organization, who the hell lets their contract run out? Who lets their contract run out? Bruce Prichard, according to reports, let Bobby Roode's contract expire and didn't even know about it. How the hell do you go about doing that? The guy is not only one of the most established guys that you have made, which you haven't made a whole lot of people, but, I mean, really made, but Bobby Roode is one of those guys, and not only that, he's a champion, and he's going into a pay-per-view, you let his contract expire. Anyway, they figured it out, they fixed it, I guess he re-signed. I don't know, I guess I'll see something on it later. Anyway, Roode and Aries defends against Chavo and Hernandez, and Chavo still has it, by the way. I was very impressed that he still has, I mean, his skill is just as good as it always was. Versus Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels. I like the Kaz and Daniels tag team, and I like their whole gimmick. I am a fan. I will say I am a fan. And Roode and Aries gets the win in a really good triple threat tag team match. Their timing was stellar. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but a lot of the spots, stellar. Cage match, Kurt Angle versus Wes Briscoe. I have seen things on Briscoe, so I was really excited to see that he was actually going to be on this card, and he's actually in TNA now. Loved it. Their match wasn't great, but you know what? When you're wrestling Kurt Angle on a big stage and you haven't really been there before, I could understand why it wouldn't be great. And it probably wasn't designed to be great. It was probably just, you know, like a little time filler, kind of something to move the storyline along between Kurt Angle and Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights, by the way, I love the gimmick. It's just like another NWO, Evolution, the Main Event Mafia. I mean, you've always got to have that big heel faction that you hate, and they're doing a good job of it. Lethal Lockdown, Team TNA versus the Aces and Eights. A lot of guys in this that former WWE guys. This should have actually been TNA versus WWE, because every one of those guys, except for one, had been in the WWE, except for Garrett Bischoff, which I thought was funny. Team TNA wins. By the way, Wes Briscoe wins the other match because D'Lo Brown pulled him out. D'Lo Brown's back on TV. Who? Get your head shaking. Old school fans, Attitude Era, know what I'm talking about. World title, Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray. And this is what I was talking about on Twitter. If you've seen my tweets, holy shit. I just knew that something was going to happen. But for some reason, part of me thought that it was going to be Jeff. That Jeff was going to turn on Bully Ray and he was going to go back heel. But it made all the sense in the world that Bully Ray reconciles with Devon, wins the world title, tells Hogan, I used you, and tells Brooke, who I did actually know that they were married in storyline, I screwed you. That was the greatest thing I have ever seen TNA do. Or TNA, oh my God, it was perfect. It was perfect. Other than the Jeff Hardy heel turn back a couple of years ago, this was perfect. This was great. I absolutely loved this. And Hogan meaning Brooke Hogan, sold it well. She was crying and yelling and shaking the cage. Perfect. It was perfect. I loved it. And now I will say I will be watching Impact on Thursday. Now, Impact is coming to my backyard in May. I probably will not go. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I will keep you posted if I decide to go. There are a couple of people that I would like to go see again. Velvet being one. Kaz being another. Some of these people that I really want to see. But only time will tell. There's a long time. I mean, there's 2 months before that show happens. So I'll keep everyone posted. Now, I apologize for this being such a long 411, but I haven't done anything on TNA in a year and a half. Well, really. So I felt like it was justified. So I apologize. And if you want the short version of it, which you probably won't even know, because if you've sat this long, then you're going to be pissed if there was an actual short version. Just holler at me on Facebook or Twitter at The Answer Chaos for both. And that's all I got. And I will see you guys tomorrow sometime for either a Raw preview, Raw 411. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, until then, deuces. As always, Chris Chaos is out.